All right, hope everyone had a good Halloween. You know, I've been troubled by, a little bit troubled, actually very troubled, because I barely slept last night after what I witnessed. And my 5-year-old daughter came home from trick-or-treating last night, and, you know, all the kids they come in with their loot, dump it on the counter, as per our usual tradition, and then, because I have to start rifling through it, and I extract the dad tax. Taxes have gone up. It's because it's tough. It's tough out there, and we're running a deficit, and we got to raise the taxes. Everyone needs to pay their fair share, and I'm tired of the rich and powerful elitist 5-year-olds who get to hog all the candy. Not going to allow it. So we had to set that right. And anyway, my daughter dumps out the candy and then starts picking through it, and she pulls out all the Whoppers, you know, the Whopper candies, and she makes a little pile of them. And I thought that what she was doing is she was separating them to go throw them away, as I used to do when I was her age. But instead, she starts eating the Whoppers. She's only eating this pile of Whopper candy, and she's only eating those. I'm like, what are you doing? She tells me that those are her favorite candy, are the Whoppers. I've never met anyone who actually likes that candy. I don't know why they're still given out on Halloween. They're disgusting. It's like when you get a box of a dozen donuts, and there's always one donut left in the break room in the box, and it's always the powdered donut, because nobody wants the powdered donut. It's not anybody's favorite. Why even put it in the box? Why take up the real estate in the box with a donut that isn't anyone's favorite? Just throw another glazed in there or chocolate frosted, and you're fine. Same thing with the Whoppers. Like 3 months after Halloween, you know, it's past Christmas, and you find the trick-or-treat bucket, and it's got some Whoppers and Smarties rolling around in there, because nobody likes those. Even the kids don't like those. Whoppers taste like mothballs dipped in chocolate syrup, or maybe really stale cereal covered in chocolate and then left in the pantry to get even more stale. They're revolting. So that was really confounding. And one other thing about Halloween, and because I've seen some people, on a slightly more serious note, I've seen some people lamenting, and you see this every year, lamenting the decline of trick-or-treating. Seems like there are fewer trick-or-treaters out there. John Doyle tweeted about this. He said, "Very sad to see fewer trick-or-treaters every year. Really noticed around 2016 or so. Seemed to be a dying tradition. Now I'm driving around and have only seen one. It's all just such a shame." And I've noticed this too. Now this year in Nashville, it was pouring rain, so that would explain why there were fewer people out there. But year over year, as a general kind of trend, I've noticed the same thing. That it's not, you know, it's not like it was when I was a kid. And we've moved like 8 times since we had kids, and we've lived in many different houses and neighborhoods and in other parts of the country. And so we've seen Halloween in all these different places, and it does seem like it's declining. I think there are a few reasons for that. One of them is probably the most obvious, which is that there are fewer kids. Like, fewer people are having kids. You have fewer young families because people aren't having kids. And so all of these traditions that are kind of kid-centric end up kind of dying off. Also, neighborhoods are less safe. You know, when I was 10 years old, I went trick-or-treating with my friends. We would, by ourselves, with no adults, we would just go out. Our parents would say bye to us, and they'd take the picture or whatever with the costumes on. And then we would go. We'd leave at like 6 o'clock, come back at 9:30 or 10. And I just wouldn't let my own kids do that at that age. It's what I did. I have very fond memories of it. I wouldn't do it. It's not safe. And also, I think that there are so many kids glued to phones and social media basically from birth that it does make them sort of more jaded and distracted and just kind of less excited by something as simple and innocent as wearing a costume and collecting candy. And then also we've got, you know, immigration. I mean, not to blame immigration for everything, but really it is at least partially to blame for almost everything going wrong in society. And this is one of them. You're bringing in a lot of people who don't care about American traditions. And so it's not just Halloween. It's like all American traditions are declining. It seems like there are fewer and fewer people who are celebrating every American tradition, whether it's Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas. It just seems to be less of a big deal with each passing year. And that's because we're bringing in a whole bunch of people who don't celebrate these traditions. Now, obviously, something like Christmas is not an American tradition. It's a tradition that goes back 2,000 years worldwide. But even something like that, it's the kind of the aspects of the tradition that are distinctly American, let's say, when it comes to Christmas, are declining. And meanwhile, things that are American traditions, Halloween, trick-or-treating, Thanksgiving, you find declining. So I think all that plays into it. And then finally, and this is kind of maybe a pet peeve of mine, and this may be the number one thing that's killing trick-or-treating, is trunk or treat. Trunk or treat is a scourge. And so what ends up happening, if you don't have kids, you're not familiar with what trunk or treat is. Trunk or treat is like, it's for the month before Halloween. You have got, in any community, you'll have dozens of trunk or treat different events that happen. It's churches do them and schools and whatever. And all that is, and this could be like 2 weeks before Halloween. You have people go to a parking lot and they stand near their cars and they have bags of candy, and you bring your kid around to all the cars in the parking lot and they give out candy. It has none of the charm of trick-or-treating on the night, at night, going to houses, all the decorations. It's none of that. It's just very efficient. Everyone's in a freaking parking lot and you just go around and collect candy and you're done in 30 minutes. So what ends up happening is that kids do the trunk-or-treat thing. They get loaded up with candy 2 weeks before Halloween, and then it takes away the novelty of it. Now it's like they've already got a bunch of candy. They're candied out by the time trick-or-treating rolls around. So that's also a big problem. That's a major problem. I'd love to hear the candidates. I'd like to hear what they have to say about trunk-or-treating. I think it should be banned. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.